from the DigiBarn. So this is my first broadcast where I wanted to show everybody some gems from the Psychedelic History Project in Leary's archive. This is the first one. Actually, I started an Instagram feed called The Psychedelic History Project, and this is the first one I posted because this is the funniest headline I found so far about the hey, Mary Kay's watching, she's the best, hey Zeta, and I just love this headline. It's great. There's another one from the New York Post over here that's really funny too. But I love this one because look at Alpert. Look at that Ram Dass. Isn't he just the sweetest? So this is the first one I started my Instagram feed, the Psychedelic History Project. And I think the plan would be maybe to start a Facebook page called the Psychedelic History Project and have these kind of videos on there so I don't do this, clog it up for everybody all the time with drug stuff. But yeah, this is one of the first beauties, and there's a couple copies of this. The earliest stuff so far is 61, 62, things like that. But then things really hit in 66, 67. That's when these drugs really hit. You got William F. Buckley debating Timothy Leary. Another fun part here is if he wasn't a CIA agent, he was certainly a friend of the CIA, this great conservative thinker. He's a smart guy, really smart guy. But yeah, to see the machinations work through even these old newspaper articles, knowing a little bit about the CIA. And you just like Tim so much through this. It's really interesting to get to know someone through their archives, just like in that Vonnegut book, Cat's Cradle, the woman who can read people through their index, and she realizes the main character is gay before anyone else because she looks at how he self-indexed his book and realized he must be queer, which I think is hilarious. And to see what Tim saved. So there was a clipping service that their foundation, IF, had that collected a lot of the press around drugs in general. That's what this whole archive is built on top of, along with everything else was sent to Tim. But there's so many great shots of him, too. This is the kind of stuff will be fun to scan. Him debating Sidney Cohen, the great drug prohibitionist, and Tim just laughing. Yeah, you just really liked Tim through this, because the thing that pissed people off the most was that he tried to take this thing spiritually, and nobody liked that. And let's see, there was, I'll keep this short, but I wanted to show some of the fun ones. These aren't the fun ones. These are the prohibitionist stuff, and there's a couple copies of each of these ideas, but by 66 or 67, enough bad shit happened that, oh, I should use the other camera on my phone? Okay, thanks MK. And I know, I don't have the fastest upload speeds either. Okay, let's see. Is that lined up right enough? I think it is. Sorry, yeah, this is the first test. I'm still getting used to this stuff, and I know we're on DSL out here on the mountain, so the upload speeds are slow. So I hope this is working. And this way I can't actually see any of the comments anymore, but that's okay for a first time. So I have some prohibitionist articles here. From December 15th, 1966, naked LSD suspect held. This young man was just walking down the side of the road, buck naked, on Washington Boulevard, near Marengo. And yeah, these are the articles that start circulating out that give people all of this negative hype about LSD and why it needed to be prohibited. By 1966, you had every kind of story that had actually happened that people could use to say, why not ban it? Youth suicide blamed on LSD. This isn't some kind of like fear-mongering tactic. A kid killed himself because of acid. That stuff still happens today, and we can't today. This one's really terrible. Man under LSD drills a hole in his own skull. That's a bad one. But in 66, there are three classic ones. There is a young woman who commits suicide on a campus. There is a 3-year-old baby in New York who accidentally eats a sugar cube that her uncle had and gets high on acid. He gets charged for aggravated assault for that. And then there's this one, the LSD Keisha murder trial. There's a bunch of articles on this one. But it is Stephen Kessler. He's a former medical student, and he took a whole bunch of LSD, and so this is called the first stab and slash slaying involving LSD to ever happen. And the money quote out of that was, he woke up out of it and he said, "Man, I've been flying on 3 days on LSD. Did I kill my wife? Did I rape anyone? What did I do?" And he had killed his mother-in-law. He didn't realize it. The drugs had taken him out of it, and he offed the old lady. And so, yeah, that's just for all the good stuff that was happening. And I'll go more into that in maybe another broadcast. I have so much commentary here of op-ed columns from 65, 66, 67 that are wise. They're saying as smart of things about what these drugs can be as tools for healing as anyone ever said, while still acknowledging the dark side of rampant misuse among the underground. And it's just columnists in New York and Chicago and San Francisco, and they get it. There'd already been, 5 years of underground, 10 years probably, of underground use, very quiet drug use of people using these tools, and then it blew up. And so really the 60s started in 65 and 66, and by 66 you have all these negative articles that are used to justify things, and they're based on real happenings. Yes, it's only a fraction of a percentage of all the total experiences, but a lot of negativities happened. And so it's fascinating to see how far back the original thinking goes. Whenever you think this was the first, it turns out not to be. So yeah, there's my first update from the Digi Barn on a nice cool day here in Santa Cruz. And just a shout out to my mother. She knitted this for me, and so now I wear it down here when it gets a little